I'm not sure if people realize or understand enough is how fragile a good reputation can be. Because say you've been perfectly consistent, you've done everything right, and then all of a sudden you decide to do one thing that you really shouldn't. You don't pay a couple of people 1 month. That can make a much larger impact on the reputation than a lot of the work you put into it. Like you
This
can
is
build something for many years and then it only takes 5 minutes for most of that to go away.
Take a look at Switzerland. We've talked about multiple times before in family episodes. Switzerland was known as a neutral country for, I think, 400 to 500 years. I don't know. It was a long time. They were known as the neutral country. People would go there because they wouldn't have to worry about them picking a side. But now, I think it was in this Russia-Ukraine dispute, Switzerland chose a side. They froze the bank accounts or they stole interest from Russian citizens. And just that act, it might have been, a couple minutes decision. And once people realized that they picked a side, now all of that 500 years, 5 centuries of reputation was destroyed within probably minutes because they made that decision. And that, I think, is the perfect example of showing how fragile a reputation is. You can spend, over half your lifetime building up a reputation. But if you on a whim decide, you know what, I'm having trouble this month, I'm just not going to pay my lenders, or I am going to pick a side after being the neutral country for centuries. All it takes is one bad decision. All it would takes is one mistake, and it all goes down the drain. It shatters your reputation because if you make that decision once, who's to say you can't make that decision again? What do you think about that, Devin?
I think that is something big, which is why people need to consistently keep the communication. It makes it a lot easier. Say there is a problem, keeping good communication between things so that if there is an issue, then it's far less bad for people.
Can you try and say that in a different way?
Say you make a mistake. If you say, hey, I made this mistake, I'm fixing it now, and you're actually telling people and not trying to hide it.
You're very honest and upfront. You explain to them, this is what happened. This is how I'm going to stop that from happening in the future. And I'll do this to try and make it up. You're not trying to hide it. You're not going to skim past it. You're upfront. You're totally brutally honest that this is what happened. I made a mistake. And you try and make up with that. And it will probably damage your reputation some, but heck, even being
But
upfront and honest with some people can be still really good for you.
I mean, I'm not saying in every scenario, but in quite a few scenarios,
Yeah.
if it's not a massive mistake and you're fixing it quickly and communicating well, I'd say for in some cases that could even help your reputation because you're showing, hey, even though there was something that went wrong, we're fixing it quickly. So if this ever happens in the future, this isn't going to be a big issue for people.
And you're showing to them that you're on top of things. You saw what happened, something went wrong, but you realized it and you've come up with a plan